Sir Sidney Poitier, February 20, 1927 to January 7, 2022. Sidney L. Poitier, KBE, was a Bohemian American actor, film director, activist, and ambassador. In 1964, he was the first black person and first Bohemian to win the Academy Award for Best Actor. And he was born on February 20th of 1927 and died January 7th, 2022. Now, the large flowers were placed on the Hollywood Walk of Fame by the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce at around 1 p.m. Pacific time. It's a beautiful color of flowers.
Welcome to Hollywood Happenings at the Hollywood Hour. We're on the star Sidney Poitier. He passed away earlier today. And this is the star that the Chamber just put up. Greg Donovan, Ambassador of Hollywood.
Now, Poitier said that racial tensions in the South initially came as a shock to him. He arrived in Florida to live with relatives at the age of 14 in the 1940s. He grew up in the Cat Islands in the Bahamas. His identity had not been linked to skin color, and he quickly pushed against that idea. Now, Sidney Poitier said, I couldn't go into certain stores and try on a pair of shoes. I had to travel on the back of a bus, and I never had to do that before. It was a big disappointment to me, Poitier told CNN's Larry King Live in 2008.
Good night, sweet prince, and flights of the angels sing thee to the rest. With love, Marissa.
Now, Poitier said, I was not what I was required to be in Florida. I was not that. I couldn't be that. I was taught that I had basic rights as a human being. I was taught that I was someone. I knew we had no money. Still, I was taught that I was someone. We had no electricity and no running water. Still, I was taught that I was someone. I had very little education, a year and a half. In fact, the schooling I was exposed to, still, I knew that I was someone. Now, some of the movies that he has appeared in is Out to Serve with Love, 1967, and Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, 1967, In the Heat of the Night, 1967, and Lilies of the Field, 1963, are just a few of the movies that he has been in. Now, he's also written books. Some of the books that he's written is The Measure of a Man in 2000, Life Beyond Measure, 2008, This Life in 1980, and Montero Kane, 2013. In an interview by the Vancouver Sun in 2000, Sidney Poitier said racism is painful and we have to be clear-eyed about it, not just victims of it. And on the other side, victims of racism are charged with the responsibility to have as clear an eye as they can examine what they perceive to be sources of racism. The legendary actor told the Vancouver Sun in 2000. Now, Poitier said in a 2000 interview with The Observer that being a Hollywood star did not shield him from the struggles of a black man in America had to face in the 1950s and the 1960s. Now, he said, I had to think twice to 3 times about every step I took. He also said, I was in a culture that denied me my very existence. I had no forces behind me. When I walked the streets outside the neighborhood, which I was confined to, I had to be constantly on the alert. The America I am speaking of was a different place back then. The dominant culture did not care about the survival as a human being. He also said that for dark-skinned actors, it was difficult to find complex roles in the 1950s was difficult.
He was knighted in 1974. He won the Congressional Medal of Honor placed on him by President Obama in 2014.
Correction, 2009.
1964 for Lilies of the Field was the first black actor to win an Academy Award.
Blacks were so new in Hollywood. There was also no frame of reference for us except the stereotypical one-dimensional characters, Poiter told Winfrey. I had in mind what was expected of me, not just what other blacks expected, but what my mother and father expected and what I expected of myself. Now he cemented his place in American cinema with films like Lilies of the Field, which earned him an Oscar for the first black to receive an Oscar. And Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? He was fully aware many people of color, including viewers and fellow artists, looked on him.
You didn't have to act like that.
What?
You didn't have to act like that. I was just trying to.
Well, no, I was just trying to interview them. I appreciate you playing music.
I was in the movie with that guy.
You were?
Yeah, let's do it again.
Really?
Yeah, I told him about the movie.
That's amazing.
I was in the audience.
That's amazing. I like your Dodgers jacket.
When Stephen Walker comes, they're just three blocks.
Yeah.
He got hypnotized.
Really?
Yeah, they both knocked each other out.
Is that the person you're wearing?
Yeah.
I like your Dodgers jacket.
I know it's good for you. I've never even got one.
Thank you for your time.
It's been an enormous responsibility, Poitier told Winfrey, and I accepted it, and I lived in a way that showed how I respected that responsibility I had to. In order for others to come behind me, there were certain things I had to do. Now, Poitier was also known for his activism and how he embraced the civil rights movement in 1963. He attended the March on Washington, and in 1964, the actor traveled to Mississippi to meet the activists in the days following the infamous slaying of 3 young civil rights workers. The nature of my life over the last 36 years has been such that the urgency that was evident today has been budding in me personally for most of these years. At least the years I came into adulthood, I became interested in the civil rights struggle out of necessity to survive, Poitier said during a roundtable with the March on Washington participants and filmed in 1963. I found it necessary for self-protection and to participate by survival that I involved myself in any activity that would ease my burden momentarily, he said about his decision to attend the march.